Yeah, what's doing?
I think I want to try to do a podcast.
A what? What's that?
Well, I talk about what I do during the day and maybe conversations.
Oh, because I never heard that term. So what do you put it on the internet?
Yeah.
Yeah, too bad I don't have it. I never heard that term before. What is the name again?
A podcast.
Podcast? P-O-T?
P-O-D-C-A-S-T.
All right, I never heard that term.
This is the Mild Adventures of Fred Stoller with Amber Tozer next to me.
Hi.
And we have a great special guest. Oh, I don't know how to fade. But we're trying to do a new thing, Felipe, if it's not a good fade, where Amber and I, last week it was just Amber. You know, people wanted to hear who she was, and I didn't really know her so well. And
because I never talk. I'm like the super quiet sidekick.
But she's so funny, and people were saying how funny she is, so I wanted to test it. No, I'm just kidding. No, she is funny. You know what she's the best at? When you send her a text or something, and she comments like, yeah, they are crazy. Well, no, it's funnier than that. She's really, and she does it right away. So how do we utilize that? But no, she's there's a fun chemistry.
Why are you talking about me like I'm not here? Even though you're saying really nice things.
well, I'm saying it to believe
you. Yeah,
this
she's behind a curtain right now, man.
This is funny.
This is your life.
This is called my opening segment with Amber, where I talk to someone else about Amber. So my opening segment.
She don't talk that much, but I'm gonna talk.
I'm gonna talk about her.
Yeah.
Well, talk about her now.
So basically, we had a whole session with Amber, and I brought in a guy. I feel like so hacky and old school because he was good because you could abuse him, and I'm not usually a bully, but he was so crazy. But I realized you kind of need that because you could tell him to shut up, which people should tell me. So Amber Tozer, we talked last week, and you'd be proud of me because I only beat myself up a little bit about some things you said about me.
What, how you interrupt people?
Yes, because I believe that adage, you hate in someone what you see in yourself.
You spot it, you got it.
Oh, God. And there's a few friends, they talk over me on the phone, and I'm going like this with the phone. You know, they interrupt, and oh, man, I'm so hating myself, but not too much.
But it's weird because you know you're doing it. You apologize. You're like, no, sorry to interrupt, and then you keep interrupting.
Okay.
But
I'm self-aware of how...
But it's funny because then you end up like going on this hilarious like rabbit hole in your mind.
But
it's funny.
I don't like when people talk over me. I flinch. So I'm going to ask you a favor. Since she's like the mom man here, I have this bell, and every time I interrupt, ring the bell.
Bing.
So that's what your job is. When I'm being annoying, ring the bell. See, I just bought this prop.
How much?
$6.
Bing.
I'm just
$5.99.
This house. I can't use the R word anymore. Did they? I see. That's a thing. That's why it's bad because I really want to ask him questions in the Latino community. Did they have like retarded? What's the thing they call people there?
I don't know. Retrasado.
The latrasados.
What is that? Is that?
That's retarded. But it also means...
Is it like special needs?
Special needs.
But it's a nice kind of way of saying
No,
it.
retrasado means retarded. Tonto means stupid, and loco, offensive? Crazy.
What is the politically correct way to say special needs?
I don't know, man. My mom always said the bad ones.
So
Tonto.
Like
she said them to you?
Yeah.
Oh, would this
is menso? Don't be stupid. So what are you, retarded?
So Amber, so we want to try to do a thing catching up on the week. And so basically, I had my first dream with you in it.
Oh, boy. Oh, yeah, you told me you were going to tell me.
This is funny.
Now it's time for that bell.
Yeah. I'm getting ready.
I had lunch with her, and it's kind of funny because I said, let's save these for the podcast, and if they suck, then it's more like, what the hell? What? All right, no. So now this is a legit dream. So this is how I am. I see this. I thought it said $59. I go, oh man, I would have got it, but it's $59 and it's $5.99. So
at World Market, you thought it was $60.
Yeah, you never know. This could have been a gold antique thing. That's great. I don't know.
All right, tell your dream. We have a great guest that we have to ask you questions
Okay,
to.
so to backtrack it, Amber was away for 6 weeks. And this is important in the dream. And while she was gone for the bulk of the dream, I had a bad, virus, very weak in the heat wave. So she came to visit me. But I was living with my parents still, even though my father's dead. But it wasn't the house in Brooklyn. It looked different. It was a little messier. So I kind of was slumped against the wall in the heat wave, still not feeling good with my shirt off. And she sees me, and I go, "It's okay. My shirt off. You already knew I was skinny, right?" And he went, "Yeah." So I was apologizing for being skinny, like taking the liberty that you show up, and I have my shirt off, but I felt it was okay. What do you think this dream?
Oh, maybe it just means that...
I was going to interrupt, and I stopped myself.
Yeah, you hit it.
I was tempted because I have my idea what the dream is.
Well, I'm a slow talker. I pause a lot, so I'm easy to interrupt because I sort of say 9 sentences in my mind before I say the one that I want to say.
That's why she's good on Twitter.
Maybe it means that you know that I don't judge you.
Yeah, I think I think I was a little vulnerable with you, and I think I was afraid at first because she, I thought she was her Twitter character that goes, "Hey, give me hot guys, ooh, Lance Armstrong."
Shut up! No, I don't.
I know you don't.
That is not. I've never.
Lance, you're into Lance Armstrong?
No, there was this woman.
The worst. Whenever he tells a joke of mine, it's the worst. It makes me less funny.
I should. No, she's great on Twitter. She's got 50,000 followers. She's had as a book deal because of her Twittering. So she's great.
We talked about this last week. Let's,
but Felipe didn't listen. That's why he was late. He was listening. No, so he was doing his research. So I think yes, you are really cool, and I think I'm not scared to be vulnerable. And I think it's also I complimented her once, and she said, "Look, whatever. Hey, you didn't get the idea, Fred." So I think I was trying to say also in the dream, I have my shirt off, but I'm not being creepy. Maybe I was afraid I was being creepy.
But you're at your parents' house.
Yeah.
So it's creepy.
Yeah. But I was.
Yeah. Why are you walking around naked at your parents' house?
I think meaning if she was around when I had the virus, she would have been understanding. I don't know. Okay. So basically. And then we met at Farmers Market, and I had something else. The heat wave. This is how schmucky I am.
Do you live here? Do you live in LA?
Yeah, I'm from LA.
Oh, wait, one last story, and then I'll introduce it. It's funny how all right. This is what I should learn about podcasting. Do you notice? You think you have a good story prepared, and it's never good. And the best stuff is when you're having a conversation.
Just tell it.
All right. Okay.
So what happened?
So I don't trust my feelings. I was at the heat wave at Farmers Market.
It was hot too, like 100, right?
Oh man,
I hated it. How did your cat feel?
Well, I have to give her fluids for her kidney, so it's already not good. So basically, in the morning, I still need a hot coffee to do my stuff. I don't. Well, yeah, I do mean that way. Okay, it could be weird. I'm so scared. She's rolls her eyes and judges. So basically, and she's so cool, and I'm learning who the real Amber is.
I do judge you, but I don't judge you. I don't judge you
so meanly as I think. Oh, maybe you do.
I don't.
Okay, no. All right, I'm so basically, this is how schmucky I am. Schmucky is a better word. I wanted to get hot coffee, but I feel you can't, so I walked up to the coffee corner, and I was hoping to see other people drinking hot coffee so I could do it. Like, if it was just iced coffee online, I wouldn't have done it. So I was looking, he got it. Is that pathetic?
I know you probably were thinking, man, people are going to be staring at me. What are that weirdo drinking hot-ass coffee in his hot-ass day? Are you serious?
But here's the thing.
Coffee was a bad idea.
You.
I know.
No one's thinking about you and your cup of coffee.
I'm so nervous, which makes no sense that the woman going, hot? Really, Fred? When I wanted it.
And if you probably would have asked for a Frappuccino, the machine would have probably been done. Ever to you go for a Frappuccino and they go, sorry, no more ice cream, we're out of ice.
I guess I'm not having good banter about the week. Anything with you, Amber?
Someone got shot at the Comedy Store.
She what?
Someone got shot at the Comedy Store.
Oh, well, all right. Let's just introduce.
Yeah, let's
Did we have
it? My week was awesome.
Is there anything with this chemistry, or am I
keep going? You gotta
do we have
flowing.
chemistry?
You have chemistry. You gotta keep talking. You got to keep talking about your story.
No. His story's done. Coffee story's done.
That's it. That's the chemistry right there.
No one cares about if you get fucking hot coffee or cold coffee.
I give up too easily.
About you in the line.
I bail too easily.
Get your coffee and move on.
You got to commit to the coffee.
What I learned is I can't pre-write what the banter's going to be.
Well, this is the thing with you. You have like this plan in your head of this conversation, which you have no control over the conversation.
And I want her to go, you asshole, I'm not going to ring a bell. That's more annoying than interrupting. So I had that planned.
I want to ring it when I want your story needs to be over.
All right. When the segment's over, that's when
I want you to change the subject.
Okay.
Why do you feel you talk over people, though?
I think it's a few things. It's a little.
He does, you'll see.
You want to get to the end, huh?
I think minor anxiety. I think it's that I'm very shy in life. When people, I'm either on a date, and I know this isn't a date, but it seems like one. Either I'm totally withdrawn with my head down and I want to leave, or I'm like, let me tell you about this. Oh, I want to get this in. Oh, you brought the thing up, and I got to relax. Go, Fred. They have something to say. Or you know what I mean? I guess it's that trying to score, and it's
You
bad.
just want to be heard.
Yes.
Is that so wrong?
No.
But I hate
it. It is when you're trying to talk.
I know a guy, he's a comic, and I feel like when I talk to him, he just keeps talking and talking and talking, and I can't find a leeway. There's no... Did you feel that?
You want to wait for a punchline so you can laugh, go, ha, ha, ha.
Or the point of the story.
Yes.
Like, the guy keeps talking and talking, and then you feel like, where do I put my 2 cents in this conversation?
Does he never ask you any questions?
Never.
I had an anxiety attack.
I almost had one. I don't even know what
I had an anxiety attack. I was, when I wanted to leave a party.
The energy.
I wanted to leave a party, and it was a birthday party, and the woman was opening her gifts. So you had to sit there for every unwrapping. There's no way you could do the polite, I got to leave in the middle of opening gifts. Can
you go to the bathroom?
You should have given your present first. You go, open mine, bye.
All right, this is not going to work because I want to try a 1-minute segment, okay, Felipe? Where it's called Pearls of Wisdom, because my mother's name is Pearl, and I thought if people like that opening, and some said they want to hear more of her, I have some audio of different... This is a conversation. I'm about to go to Fred Willard's party, okay?
Okay.
And then I introduce Felipe. Oh, no.
He's already 30 minutes in.
All right, let me find it.
Yeah, you have to ask him questions.
No. All right, no more segments. Can I try this?
Try the segment. It's your mom, right?
All right, I got to find it.
But then we have another segment, too.
It's whenever he calls in. I'll text him.
Who, Speedweed?
He was supposed to be here, but he's out of town. He gets the weed.
He just showed up with a weed and just took off.
See, nothing planned is working. This is my mother. Good editing. You really need 2 rings, Fred. Wait a minute. I hope this is the right one.
Hello?
Hi, how you doing?
Okay. My eyes are burning. It's hard to read. I guess I'll wait for I hope it'll be better after the cataract.
Now, Cindy was saying I should go down. Wait a minute. Okay, wait a minute. Maybe this is it.
What happened?
I didn't have
Cindy
to write
said
that.
You're going down on somebody?
Hello?
Hi, how you doing?
Okay. My eyes are burning. It's hard to read. I guess I'll wait for I hope it'll be better after the cataract. And I'm going to a different place where they're more caring. And you're not just a number. You're more of an individual. What's doing?
I'm going to go to Fred Willard's Christmas party.
What's his name? Has he been in any TV program that I'm aware of?
He's, just been in a million things, but like...
Oh, really? He's so successful. How'd you get so friendly with him? It's mind-boggling.
Well, I better get ready for the party.
Is he Jewish, your friend?
Fred Willard?
Yeah.
No.
Uh-huh. Okay. Whatever. All right.
Bye.
Take care. Bye.
And what I'm really excited about... All right, I'll shut this. All right, all right. Help me, Mama. All right.
The
Enough
Christmas
of that.
party is this year or next year?
That was a year or two ago. Now, Felipe Esparza. All right, we'll work on that, Amber. What do you think, Mike?
The whole idea is if you're going to do that, we need to be able to like talk about it after. You can't be like, "Here's a crazy phone call," and then be like, "All right."
Yeah, there should be more banter on a phone call.
You mean stop it once in a while and
yeah, and like sort of break it down. But I do think we should focus on our guest right now.
Okay,
because
we can revisit the phone call with the guest.
Yeah.
But first, I think we should make it about the guest.
Felipe Esparza.
What's up, fool?
He's got his What's Up, Fool podcast here. He's got a web series, The Shop, winner of Last Comic Standing, Season 7. Big on the road. I've opened for him. He's the reason I'm doing this podcast because I went to your wedding.
Yes.
And I got to tell you something about this is a great guy, Amber Tozer.
When did you get married?
December 13, 2014. 12, 13, 14.
Oh.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, what a mensch this guy is that I didn't deal with the magnet right away. Did you send the magnet, save the date or something?
Yes.
I didn't deal with it. You know, weddings, so then all of a sudden I go, oh, I never RSVP'd. And I see on your Facebooking some buddies where Chris was in town for the wedding. And I said, oh, Felipe, I'm so sorry I didn't RSVP. You go, come on down, man. It don't matter. And then I was driving right there. And with Felipe, I said, I didn't have the anxiety I had to come with a gift because you're a lot of guys will say, come on, man, don't worry about running and getting a gift, and they don't really mean it. With you, am I correct? You're such a great guy. It didn't matter I didn't bring a gift.
No, it didn't matter. We didn't want no gifts.
He's such a great guy. So I met Al Magical, who runs the studio, and he knew me from Mark Maron. And that led to this, meeting him at your wedding. And it was funny because he's a vegan, Amber. And so I didn't know. So I said, could I have that? And they go, you a vegan? I go, no. Go, you can't. Do you remember that?
Yeah, there was a vegan security guard there making sure that vegans ate vegan food and regular people ate the regular food.
How long have you been a vegan?
Since 2010. No, 2011, I think. Yeah.
Did you see Fred and Vinny?
Yes, I love Fred and Vinny.
Because I don't mean if
I knew you. I didn't know you before I saw it.
Because Vinny D'Angelo said, I'm the fattest vegetarian. But that's different than vegan, isn't it?
Yeah, because he eats cheese.
And
he
dairy.
eats cheese and candy.
Did you do it for health reasons, or did you?
Yes, I was for health reasons. I was fat, of course. And I was trying the Atkins diet at first.
Yeah.
And it didn't work. I got constipated for like 6 days on the Atkins diet because I never drank water.
Wait, there's a diet that says don't drink water?
No, but I never drank water because I drank soda all the time.
Oh, my God.
I never drank water. Like, if I got thirsty, I drank a soda or Diet Coke.
Have you ever seen Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead? That documentary? Watch it.
I saw Forks Over Knives. That one made me turn vegan.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
I wish I could because I love animals, but I
love cheese.
Yeah.
Cheese is it releases sort of dopamine in your brain, and so you can be addicted to it. So sometimes when you eat cheese and you feel really good, it's almost like a drug. There's this new study coming out that it releases like the good feeling chemical in your brain.
Amber, now let me tell you about him. 2 things. I started opening for him. And I don't. All right, this is going to sound racist. Whenever you say that, it's very racist. Whenever you start a sentence like that, but he's Mexican, but he doesn't do the thing. We're the homies. You talk about him being Mexican, but you are obviously Mexican.
Do that? We're the
but you don't really overdo it. Where you're so severely catering. His influences were guys like Stephen Wright, quirky non sequitur one-liners, right?
Yes. Stephen Wright, George Lopez. No, Stephen Wright, Rodney Dangerfield.
Fred
Stoller, Mitch Hedberg, later on.
Oh, yeah.
One-liners.
So you were very low-key.
Yes.
And then you learn like I do, who interrupts a lot, that you can't do well if you're low-key.
Let him talk.
Yes, I was deadpan.
And he learned you don't headline and make money when you're deadpan.
I did.
So now what are you like now?
Yo, man, I'm Latino.
What's up, fool?
Where's my prisoner homies? No.
Do an impression of your old
That's funny. Those guys are still working the same rooms when I started. those type of Latino comedians.
You know, I didn't know this circuit. When I kind of went back to stand-up momentarily,
He went to Liam's.
I put on Facebook, I'm doing it, so these people reach out. They go, you want to do my room? They go, it's only 20 minutes away, and I'm going past Claremont, and it was this room, and I didn't know there's all these Latino and black guys that it's not even, I don't know what they do, they're screaming, and, yo, man, who's been in prison? Right?
Yeah.
You call that niche, what's it called, MSNBC lockup stand-up?
MSNBC lock. Yeah. And MSNBC lockup stand-up, yeah.
But he's...
George Perez.
You know, you're like... Louis Anderson had a joke I loved where he didn't know if he should start with being fat. He goes, if I open with a joke about being fat, they go, oh, he's another guy talking about being fat. But if he doesn't, he's afraid to go, you think he knows? You know, so you got to get... But you are Mexican, but again, you have to talk about it, but you don't do it in a way like, that's who I am.
I know, I don't want
to... Do you talk about it a lot, or do you just sort of...
I just talk about it a lot.
Yeah.
No, but it's not like, you know what I mean, you're yourself.
Even in Pittsburgh, it works. I don't know. I just don't know. Just was real, you know.
Yeah, he's real. He's so good that I laugh at your stuff, even if I don't relate to it, about having a stepson.
I have a joke where I say that I used to be a horrible person. I used to sell marijuana to my son's mom, new husband. Then I'm going to take his money and give it to her as child support.
But something about...
that's a little bit sweet, though.
That was my 420 pyramid scheme.
But what about the stepson? How they're easier, or at the mall? No, you're cheating on your son. What's the joke?
Because I have a stepson. You know, my son, he's white. He has blonde hair, blue eyes, everything I wanted in a son. So every time me and my stepson, we walk together holding hands. You know, he has blonde hair, blue eyes. Sometimes I see my real son coming. And I feel like I'm cheating on him.
Oh, yeah.
So I gotta let go of my stepson's hand. Let go of my hand, fakey. Give him your jacket. And then my son gets upset because he sees my stepson. And I gotta take out my court paper and I say, listen, your days are Saturday from 9 to 9. Right now you're trespassing.
His wife...
So, my wife, go ahead.
Your wife told me something that... his wife's great. I was wishing you would come. She manages you, does the merch and everything. When I opened for Felipe, you kind of have to like stand with the merch table. Come on, man, where were you, Fred? So either they're asking for you. So whenever you say they're asking for me, they're all ignoring me. And but maybe there was a guy I opened for you. I forgot where. No, in
Tempe, Arizona.
And there's one guy. Where's Seinfeld, man? Seinfeld. You know,
the guy almost kidnapped you, huh?
He was scary as shit, and
he grabbed Fred. He goes, "Come on, take a photo of Seinfeld." Seinfeld.
He went in the green room looking for me. Where's fucking Seinfeld? So then I knew it just when I started doing stand up again with you, was when I discovered weed, and so some guy you set it up did something called vapes or dapes,
dabs.
And it's like crack. It's what is crack pipe, and I didn't understand it, and it's weird. And it was like taking 20 edibles, and I'm blitzed out of my mind. And the guy goes, "Where's Seinfeld, man?" So then I had paranoia when I got into my hotel because I put him on Instagram or something. Goes, "Seinfeld, man, we fucking kill in Arizona. We have guns in Arizona, Seinfeld. Fuck you." And he was trying to be funny, so I took it off Instagram because I was scared, or Facebook, that he go, "You fucking put me on," So that was the paranoia.
I thought he was going to get mad too, but he wasn't that mad. Oh, remember that woman we took a photo with, the one with the boobs?
Yes,
she died of cancer already.
Oh.
Yeah.
What happened was the first
she had a good time though.
The first time I opened for him, some woman is online. She goes, "Could you touch my boobs, man? Touch my boobs," to me and him, and his wife's there. And I would go, "Why? Come on, I have cancer. I have cancer." So I went, "All right." And I thought, oh, she's going to lose them soon. So, have fun with them. And it wasn't fun. She was... there was other women I wish would say that. I don't mean, no, I shouldn't
but
say
not that one
passed away. So then I go, "That's so sad. You have breast cancer." "No, colon cancer." So stage 4. So meaning
just wanted to get built up as much as possible.
No, meaning she didn't want okay, not a joke. I thought she was losing them. Like, hey, play with my breasts. I'm going to lose them. But if it was colon cancer, okay, I'm being lame. You don't put the finger up the ass.
Cough, man.
It's going to lose part of it.
A little cough.
See, I try to be more ballsy with Amber because she's.
That was funny.
I thought it's not bad.
Did you really think I would think that was funny?
Well, it was no, you're right.
Martin Rizzo texts me. He goes, hey, remember that woman that you and Fred Stoller grabbed her boobs at the Flappers? Oh, yeah, man. She passed away from cancer. Oh, okay. Oh, but she had a great time that night. Okay.
Oh, I could see now women lying, saying they have cancer.
But my question is, was she wanting to be felt up because she had cancer? Or what if she done that?
She was trying to have crazy fun.
Crazy. She was like, whatever, life's short.
And as I say, God bless her, because she had such a great attitude. She's at stage 4, and she was having a good time. And, it's weird.
You guys gave her a couple last days.
They said did one for the team. No,
Fred took one for the team, man.
But no. Again, it really when you work with Felipe, the people, it's just so sweet how you got the greatest fans, and stuff. It's but okay, but he lied to his wife when he met her. This is what I'm trying to get to.
Wait, how did you meet your wife, or where'd you meet her?
At the Laugh Factory.
No.
She was training.
To work there as a waitress? Ooh.
Oh, I thought didn't she also work at Ice House?
Yeah, she worked at the Ice House.
So, I get it. They train at the Laugh Factory to work at the Ice House.
No, they train at the Laugh Factory to work at the Laugh Factory.
Wait, that makes no sense.
Your way doesn't make sense.
No, just bad. A bad joke.
No, they train at the Improv to work at the Taj Mahal.
Do you remember the lie you told your wife?
So many, I don't know.
She said that you lied. You said you only had 2 kids when you had 3. You didn't want to seem too weird that you had 3 kids.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I had 3 kids. I told her I only had 2.
What?
I don't know why.
I guess 3 is a lot. High maintenance. 3 is a lot.
3 is too much.
But 2 is okay.
So which 2 did you tell her that you had?
I told her I have 2 from different women.
Do you have 3 from 3 different women?
No, I have 3 kids from 2 different women.
Ah.
Yeah. She thought I was Paul Rodriguez's son when she saw me.
She what?
She thought I was Paul Rodriguez, like a young Paul Rodriguez. And I said, okay, órale.
Did you like her right away?
Right away, man.
She's really cool. This guy, he has people open for him, and they're so generous that they have a certain amount they give, and the clubs are pathetic, but they overcompensate, you know what I'm saying, for what the clubs don't give the people, the comics.
Because some clubs don't pay the opener. The host doesn't get no money for the whole week, and sometimes the feature only gets like $200 for 5 shows for the whole week. So we got to compensate and give them an extra $300 to make up for $100 a show.
Yeah.
So it could be fair for everybody.
That's so nice.
Because I always thought that, like the comedians that took me on the road, they always paid me right. Like Gabriel Iglesias, Russell Peters, Paul Rodriguez, George Lopez. They always gave me more. I was very embarrassed when they gave me their money. Like one time, I did 10 minutes for Russell Peters, and he gave me like $2,000
of his own money,
and in cash. And his brother gave it to me, and they were leaving, and I ran. I said, Clayton, there's a big mistake. I think you guys gave me the DJ's money. He goes, no, that's your money. Are you sure? He goes, because I'm not going to claim this now. No, it was my money.
That's
and I ended up that day at the Hard Rock Cafe. I was there with Lisa, my wife, and her son Isaac, and we were having a pillow fight.
Wait, you and Lisa or Isaac?
Me and Isaac, her son, we're having a pillow fight. He's like 6 years old, and then I remember I threw the pillow real hard, and I broke the Hard Rock Cafe poster. It was like a Bob Dylan poster, and it fell down, and they charged us almost $400.
Get out of here.
That's what I said. I said, we should have just took this frame, took it down the street, frame it up for $20, put it back up, or just put it on the floor and clean up the glass. I try to argue, I could fix it myself. I'll keep the poster if you're going to charge me $400. But they charged me $400.
Wow.
Fuckers.
Lisa, right? Right, Mike? Isn't Lisa the best?
Yeah, Lisa's fantastic. I learned a lot, actually, working with Felipe and Lisa.
What have you learned? What I need to learn.
She's really good. Yeah, she's a podcast producer, What's Up Full Podcast. And she's really on top of everything, from the social media to the booking of the guests and to making sure that the show runs smooth. And so it's just been a real privilege to work with those two.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
Yes. She's Amber. Do you know what Periscope is?
Uh-huh.
Oh, I thought we could try one, but I want to impress her. I know Redbox. I know all the things. So
Redbook.
Let me ask you something, Felipe. Now, Amber is a friend of Sam, so I don't mean to...
Sam Tripoli?
No, I'm just kidding.
Sam Kinison?
No, Sam... No, the AA. Bill. Bill, okay. Now, you were in rehab, and you took a lot of stuff, but how can you stay off stuff but do so much weed?
I don't know. Probably because I know that with weed, I'm going to just calm down. And if I start drinking... I don't know, something about drinking. Like, as soon as I get, like, some people get happy and they start drinking and they want to drink more. Some people get happy and they just want to leave right away because they feel good. Me, I get happy and I want to do coke right away. Like, as soon as I see somebody, as soon as I start getting buzzed, all right, man, who has the sniffles?
Oh, my God.
I start looking for anybody that
So
has
is that what you were in
any
rehab
sense
for?
of code, yeah.
That's what you're in rehab
for? Crack. I was there for crack.
And how old were you when you was crack?
The first time, 20 or 21 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, I got hooked right away.
Like
a lot of my friends were hooked earlier, like when they were like 13, 14 years old. But I got hooked later on in life when I was 20.
Wow.
See, what happened when people don't know that when you get a 13-year-old hooked on crack,
it's not a good thing.
It's not because a 20-year-old got him hooked. It's not because a 30-year-old man got him hooked. It's because when you're selling crack cocaine, say I'm 20 years old and I'm selling crack cocaine out of my house. So there's no, I'm not going to trust no other 20-year-old guy to sell my crack because he's probably or older, competitive. So I'm going to hire a 17-year-old guy, a 17-year-old kid, a 16-year-old kid, and he's going to sell the crack for me. Now, you got a 15-year-old kid selling crack. 15-year-old kids don't know too many adults. All they know is another 15-year-old. So a 15-year-old will sell crack to a 13-year-old. And a 13-year-old will sell crack to a 10-year-old. So that's how you get 10-year-olds getting hooked on crack. It's not because a 20-year-old sells crack. It's because you got teenagers selling crack.
10-year-old crack addicts?
I heard a story just today that this guy was smoking crack at 6 years old with his mother. And he told her when he was 6, he was like, "Mom, I don't think this is right." And she said, "You worry about you and I'll worry about me."
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. It's intense.
So what was it like being a crack addict? What made you say you got to get help? Like, what were you doing?
Oh, I was like, I got into a lot of trouble growing up. I got into this fight with some guy. I got into a fight with some guy right after I finished watching some movie. I was on PCP, and he was choking me to death.
Oh my God!
And it was really choking me, and I didn't know what else to do, and I bit half his ear off.
Get out of here! How old were you?
I was like 20 years old.
Oh, did you go to jail?
No. It was like, I live in a housing project, so we have our own police for the housing police, but they were not there. So, like, I live in a neighborhood where nobody calls the cops. So that guy went to the hospital, and he didn't press charges. He just said, "I'm going to kill you when I get out the hospital."
Oh, my God.
So that was scared because he didn't press charges.
So you were going to rehab to not get killed.
Exactly.
It's like those movies.
I really didn't want to stop doing crack.
It just was a safe place.
I was there like hiding out like John Cryer.
Oh my God! So when you were hiding out, did you get better or you didn't care? You were just hiding out.
I got better, but I didn't want to stop. But I just felt that I have no corner. You know, I'm glad I did stop because I didn't want to fall into that pattern like my brother or other drug addicts. They fall into a pattern of, especially drug addicts with no money, like a rich person who has the money, like an actor who has the money to do drugs every day and still live a normal life. I wasn't that person. So I knew that if I don't go to rehab, I'm going to die in the streets or I'm going to end up living in the streets.
Did you quit drinking then when you were 20 at that trip to the rehab, or did it take you a couple more times?
I did.
Wow.
I went 10 years sober.
Wow.
With no weed?
No weed and no alcohol. And it didn't happen till maybe like 2001 or 2003.
What made you, after all that sobriety in every department, to say, I'm going to do weed or try it?
I don't know. Okay, the first time I did weed again was in 2003, I guess. I went 10 years sober. I was in El Paso, at the comic strip in El Paso, at the comedy condo. and I found a half an ounce of marijuana inside the condo that some comedian saved for another comedian. And then the headliner wanted to smoke, but he didn't know how to roll up joints.
Oh, my God.
So I said, all right, I know how to roll. So it's been a long time, but I rolled up 5 joints, and I gave him 3, and I don't know why I kept 2.
Ah.
So when I was alone in the condo, just...
Because you're a drug addict.
Yes. I smoked that joint like a soldier. and I even took weed with me back home. Who takes weed from El Paso to LA?
In what? On the plane?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
I put it in my pocket. Nobody said nothing.
In your pocket?
And I got home, and my girlfriend at the time, she was surprised that I smoked weed, because she smoked weed, but she never did around me. So now that I started smoking, and...
But you're
So
okay?
when
You're not like, oh, I think I can start drinking again or
not
whatever?
not then, not at the time. And one day, I don't know why it happened. I was in Bakersfield, California, I think. I took my first... No. It was one day, I was at home, and I was bored Friday night, nothing to do, no gigs, nothing to do. And I was watching The Big Lebowski. And I said, you know what? I've never had a White Russian.
Oh, I knew you were going to say that.
I've never had a White Russian in my life.
They're
so I went
good.
they're good. I went to Ralph's in Silver Lake, and I bought the White Russian
I think I know the Ralph's you
Club
mean.
Mix. The White Russian.
I'm sure it's super sugary, like a milkshake.
Yes, the White Russian Club Mix and the Mudslide Club Mix. And I went home and I made it with ice, just poured it over ice. It felt good. It got hot. It got real buzz, real hot right away.
Yeah.
Then I said, fuck this. I'm going to have a real drink. And I went to the Red Lion Tavern. And then from that moment, I went back straight home. I got drunk. And then I laid low. Then little by know I was drinking. I was like hiding it from the other
2003?
comics. Yeah.
Oh, you started drinking more? Like,
Yeah. And then in Bakersfield, when some DJ, he offered me cocaine, and I took it.
And
Wow.
then what happened again to get you sober again? Well,
Oh, man.
Just smoking weed.
Oh, man. I went from that moment I did crack again in 2000, right there was that guy, or 2003. I spiraled down, man. Like, I went back to smoking
Fast.
crack. Yes.
That happens.
I mean, I
They
really...
say you just pick up
Because
right
of
where
the
you
one,
left off.
right, because of the Big
Yeah.
Lebowski?
That one White Russian led to
Yes, I picked it. You're right. You're right, Amber. I did pick it up right away. How did you know? I just picked it up right away.
Because I have 7 years of sobriety. So
You're right. I just picked it up right away. I went to I did go back to exactly the same scandalous way of thinking. I went straight to the liquor store and I bought a pipe. I bought a crack pipe. And it's funny.
You never did that, Amber, did you?
No, I think I'd smoked crack accidentally once.
Oh, okay.
I thought it was weed, and then I was like, I don't think this is weed.
Ah.
I saw it it's funny. Like I went straight to the hardware section of the store, and I bought the hardware section of the liquor store, and I bought a Brillo pad, a copper Brillo pad, and I went to the front of the liquor store and I bought the crack pipe. It was there waiting for me with a little rose inside. You know which was right next to the gum.
Oh, so
Man.
you had another rehab stint while being a stand-up.
Yeah, no rehab stint.
How did you get off this second round?
I was working with Gabriel Iglesias, and I got too drunk talking shit to him during the tour. Like, talking shit, you fat ass, fuck you. You ain't shit. You know? So he fired me, and he kicked me out of the gig. This is tough, man. Like this is the headliner, and he's fucking hooking me up with a job in San Jose.
That's like if Rodrigo cursed you out.
Yeah, that's like if you got drunk, Fred, and was talking shit to me from
In
San
Tempe.
Jose
I
all the way
almost
home.
did. I had a stomach virus. I said,
You always have a virus.
I had a stomach virus in Tempe.
virus.
And I hated it, Amber, because it's all these you'd hate
There was no
temping
soup.
because it was nothing but
Sports bars.
sports bars, shitty bar food, and signs about guns. Everything. You can't bring a gun. Bring a gun, but leave it there. We like guns in this bar. Guns are okay. You know what I'm saying? No carry guns. You could hide your gun. A gun in your hat, right?
Yeah.
It was insane.
Gun in your head.
Arizona, joke.
Oh my God! But it's always every gig I've done with you, it feels like the same mall, the same like we're in Orange County. I did Brea.
Irvine,
I didn't do Irvine with you. I did some other place on the 10. I forgot what it's called.
Ontario Improv.
Yes. The same mall, the same. The people look the same. And I'm saying that not really character those improvs.
Was there Reno?
I liked Reno because that's the most depressing town. But it wasn't an improv, meaning it was a different kind of theater kind of place. But yeah, his friends sought him out. The guy that was in prison does the MSNBC lockup comedy, Birdman. And we were eating at the shitty casino, the worst food. And then I want to leave, so he's eating. Then his girlfriend didn't eat, and he took her plate. And he starts, and he's like, because he's in prison and wants to eat off everyone's plate. Remember that?
The Birdman.
What's his story?
He's doing good. He's at home. Making his own oils, those dabs.
Is that like doing the crack of pot when I did that? It's sort of
Probably.
It was crazy.
It's a PCP of marijuana.
I was so blitzed in my hotel room that I was, whenever I'm blitzed, I always tell myself my mantra is no one ever died from pot. No one ever died from edibles. Because people have checked themselves in because they don't know no one ever lost their mind. No one, you don't have to. But I was just telling myself, worst case scenario, I knew I had to be at the airport in a few hours to go home. But I said, worst case scenario, I pay for another night here. I thought if I'm like this, I can't go to the hotel. I thought you'd be holding me up and falling down and stuff. But it wore off.
Could you imagine Fred on crack?
Wow.
Please smoke crack on the show.
Please.
Yeah, doing crack with Fred.
Where are you sober from? 7 years sober?
Yeah. Off
But not in a row.
Yes, in a row.
It's a bad joke.
I know your jokes are so bad, I'm not even getting them, and I'm really smart.
7 years, and you did like pink martinis, you said.
No.
Pink martini?
You did some crazy drink.
Vodka gimlets.
But that's pink,
Gimlets?
No.
All right,
What's that?
It's vodka with lime juice and white wine. But I didn't.
You're an alcoholic.
Yeah, I'm definitely alcoholic. I did Coke a few times. The last time I ever drank, I did a bunch of Coke, and I just knew that I was going to keep doing it, so I quit. But I always fantasize about smoking pot. I could take or leave pot. There was phases when I was pothead and I would smoke every day. But then when I didn't do it, I was like, whatever. But sometimes now, especially because it's legal and there's all these like fancy treats and lip gloss and like teas and stuff, I'm like, oh man. And I fantasize about doing it, but I'm not.
Why does pot?
Just because. Yeah, why do you think?
I'm doing it to myself.
But it's cool.
Would you never smoke pot?
Not in 7 years. No, nothing.
And it's gotten better and less crazy.
You go to meetings?
Yeah. I'm pretty active in the program. Only
NA or AA?
AA.
Did I ever tell you my 7 program stories?
No.
Yes.
Okay, then I won't repeat them. I'll tell you one
go
thing.
ahead. I don't know if you told them.
To make a long story short, and I probably won't, when I first moved to L.A., I was freaking out and lonely and desperate, and what do you do? And I don't know anyone. So my sister's husband, my brother-in-law, he's really in AA. And some people proselytize it. Is that like it saved me, it's going to save you? They go, you better do the program, you have all the traits. Did I tell this story? Bring the bell when it's getting repetition.
Are you a friend of Bill?
Yeah, you already told me this story. But I think he was just talking like the 12 steps.
Well, no. I said, I don't drink. He goes, you got all the symptoms of a drunk.
That's why we get along, because you do think like an alcoholic. You really do.
Thank you.
And you should start drinking.
Okay.
Go ahead, finish your story.
So he goes, no, there's sister programs, Emotions Anonymous. There's something called Emotions Anonymous, which I still don't know what it is, EA. So he goes, go to the meetings And I had just seen that movie with Michael Keaton, and I've talked to you about this before. I always wished I was an alcoholic because they always say, "Man, I got the program. My life turned around. I'm married. I got a show and everything." So I always wished there was something I could quit to, make my life better. So I said, "All right, I'm going to the program," but I never understood it. It was very vague. It's like, "Hi, I'm Steve. I'm nervous and depressed." It's kind of like the symptoms of drinking. I don't know. So there were a few funny things that happened. One time, this woman raises a hand. She goes, "Well, I've been losing weight," and the guy's applauding, clapping. He goes, "It's not fucking good, you asshole. I've been sick." And that's humorous. Okay. All right.
What are you calling Norm?
Yeah, we're going to have a special guest calling in. So then...
Is he there? Hey, Norm, you there?
Yeah, what's up?
Norm MacDonald. We have Felipe Esparza. Do you know him? He won Last Comic Standing a few years before you. We have Amber Antozer. What's your middle name?
Lee.
Hey.
Hi, Norm.
and what Norm does is he sets me up on the podcast he won't do. So this is payback. Like he'll say that he doesn't want to do it. Use Freddie, and then he likes to laugh. And I send him the link, and no one listens to it. So,
no, I want Freddie.
Yeah.
Hello, Fred.
Norm, this story involves you and Felipe in a way. I'm connecting things.
Yeah.
First of all, I've opened for him at the Improv in Tempe and in Brea, and they all feel like this depressing mall. It's like a Chuck E. Cheese. It's like in Orange County. There's no character. So
last time I was there, they brought a guy in on Saturday. I did so bad on Friday. They brought in like the regional manager that did 3 improvs, and he was like a big muscular guy. And then he was backstage like, "You feeling okay?"
Wait, they brought in another comic or another manager?
No, the manager. Like, it's like you were saying, like they're Chuck E. Cheese.
The Buddy Clark.
Like man. He was like a big tough guy like that.
Buddy Clark.
And that's why they called him in, so that I'd be funny the next night.
I had that. I did. I forgot this place. God, it was San Antonio. And the first place I ran into anti-Semitism, they were booing me. Go, "Hey, Mr. Jew, where'd you get your nose job?" I never ran into anything. And I remember that.
Did they call you a bearded New Yorker?
I did this morning radio. No one ever came to a show because I did morning radio. And it was a country western radio. I don't know much about country western. I know the Gamble broke.
People don't like going to a show 16 hours after they listen to the radio.
They never remember. I did your friend, what's his name, Tim Conway Jr.'s radio show going, "This is big radio, Huntington Beach." And I go, because I did a Barnes & Noble in Huntington Beach. I'm on the thing. The only person that came to the book signing was Keith Resner. And and this is going on Tim Conway Jr. mentioning over and over, "Fred will be at Huntington Beach."
Mentor. I'm Keith's mentor.
Do you know who Keith Resner is, Reesner?
Yeah. Keith tells me I'm his mentor.
I'm supposed to do his podcast too. This is a guy, Amber and Felipe. He goes to me. He comes to my show. He goes, "I have Asperger's." I go, "What's that mean?" He goes, "I have no empathy at all." And his friend goes, "That's right. I hurt my ankle. He didn't care." He goes, "That's the example."
Yeah, it's an odd symptom.
Where friends hurt ankles,
you
they don't
get the
care.
feeling when you meet Keith that he may be the last face you ever see.
Because I said, "Isn't that every comedian has no empathy?" He goes, "I don't care about other people." And
I got no empathy.
I got no empathy at all. I told Felipe loves the story that you like, Norm, where when I was working in New York, people would try to sell Rodney jokes. He'd come over, "Oh, what do you got? I don't know. What the fuck is this? All right, let me look at the sheet." He'd put his glasses on and he'd write up all these jokes. So remember he was doing a lot of NBC specials. So
what did you say? You give too much discretion to the audience.
No, I take
too many liberties.
I take too many liberties.
But it's so spot on, perfect though, isn't it?
Well, yeah, he was.
Like all of us give way too much liberty.
And he also, Eddie Murphy, he came into the comic strip in Fort Lauderdale. He was doing another gig right before Murphy got Saturday Night Live. So Murphy used to do the thing, hey, scream out the N-word, everyone do it, get it out of your system. And he goes to Murphy, I hate to say the word, he goes, you're going to go nowhere with that N-er shit, you know. And Murphy was crushed, you know, that Rodney is going, where are you going to go with that shit? So one time, I
don't remember that Rodney preceded Eddie Murphy.
No. I was doing in 1980 the Fort Lauderdale comic strip with Eddie Murphy, Rob Bartlett, I think one other guy, Mike Reynolds, who was like a gambler, and
I know Mike Reynolds. He lives in Vegas now.
Yes. And it's funny how I'm going over the place.
Did you ever hear Mike Reynolds' album of him? Just talking to all his creditors?
Yes, he tried doing like what was that guy that do practical jokes? He tried doing a one where he's in debt and he's going, fuck you, I'm not going to pay what I owe you, taunting people he owes money to. So he sent it to Jimmy Kimmel, who does pranks. And Jimmy goes, well, you're a deadbeat. You're not paying people back. Who cares about this? He's like calling people who he owes money to. So he thought it was going to be and this guy, Bruce Fine, produced it. This guy who...
the great Bruce Fine.
He thought it was going to be the next Jerky Boys.
He told me I should get merch, and then he showed me, he had a T-shirt that was for Sean Wayans. And it was just all these Wayans brothers movies. Probably you've been in every one of them.
I only wanted...
A caricature of Sean Wayans in the middle. Who would wear that on there?
When you said they brought in the manager, when I did this place, I forgot. I forgot what it's called in not Tempe. I've been in a lot of Arizona. Oh no, San Antonio. So what happened was these people.
I like how all your stories are from one single gig.
And you know how when people, it's worse when people heckle, you can go, hey, shut up, and they applaud. But you have ever when they're talking and only you hear them talk. So I said, I said to the bouncer, could you tell them if they don't shut up, they're kicked out? He interpreted that as kick them out. So he said, get out. So there's one woman on crutches, so it looked like I kicked out a crippled woman. And she's hobbling across with crutches, and they're booing me. So then they're going, hey. And I said, if you keep booing, I can't do my act. So I shut them up, and they were sitting there with their arms folded, and I walked off. So they were going to fire me. So the manager had a meeting. He goes, how can we prevent this from happening again? I go, it's an isolated incident. He goes, I have an idea. Don't do those thrill-seeker jokes because you're antagonizing them. I did jokes. I'm a badass. I drank milk that expired yesterday. He goes, when you do that, you're making them be aggressive because you're saying, don't fuck with me. You're challenging them. So, Norm, I did
a gig once in the South, and they said, listen, do you mind if this guy goes on before you? And his name was James Gregory. You ever hear that guy?
He's not the hamburger guy.
No.
Okay.
He is. So he's introduced as the funniest man in the world.
Wait, but he tells him to say that.
Yeah, that's what his thing says. So then I'm waiting to go on. I look down at the menu, and it's like the James Gregory burger, the James Gregory steak. And all I hear is insane laugh. Turns out the guy is the funniest guy in the world.
Wow.
And everyone loves it. And then I have to go on. And so he's in the South. I don't know how he missed out on that tour. But, in the South, they have their own circus. And people...
The Christian tour?
The comics are different. They're kind of fat and loud, Like Ralphie
May?
Is he from the South?
I think so, yeah.
I think so.
Yeah. But not as smart as Ralphie May.
Right.
But real tough and loud, and then I'd go up, and I'd have the Jay Leno outfit on with the skinny tie, and everyone would think I was a fag, They'd yell fag. It's those days where people yelled fag. Instead of gay American, they would yell fag.
Gay American.
Did you ever hear of a cis male?
The who?
Do you ever hear of a cis male?
No, what's that?
I was reading about it today. It is a man.
It was a sissy?
No, it's a man who's born a man but identifies as a man. So you would be a cis male.
Wait.
Or I would be a cis male.
I don't understand.
There's trans, and then there's cis. It's a word that's made to like marginalize.
Oh. No, I didn't.
The main market of people. You know what I mean? So that you two are like some freak. That you're born male, and then crazily enough, you identify as a male also.
Oh, Norm, the Rodney thing is, so I went up to Rodney. I thought I had this great idea, not for Zach. Remember he had these NBC specials where he did sketches?
Sure.
And I said, Rodney, all right, this is a running gag where... First, you're dressed as a cop. You're in a homicide division. You go, hey, I got no suspects at all. and then he's looking at me like, what the fuck you talking about? I go, wait. And then you work at a drugstore. You go, I got no secrets at all. And then you work at a toy store. I got no puppets. I go, what the fuck are you talking about? And I go, I have no use for it. I thought you could have it. He goes, I got no use for that shit either.
You should tell me you work in Mexico. I got no chiclets. I got no rockets. Hey, I work at Radio City.
Well, one time he was like when I was on Update, Lauren would just put people on Update that wanted to be on the show, and there'd be no use for them. But it was Rodney's birthday, so Lauren goes, put Rodney on Update. So we're like, fuck, how can we put him on? Like, it's weird to just put him on and say, here's Rodney doing his jokes. But what else could he do, So then the guy who, the main writer on the show, Jim Downey, who's kind of a genius, he had this idea. So he pitched it to Rodney, and I was on the other line, and he goes, I think it would be funny if you went on, and Norm said, like, you're 75 now, how's life? And you go, I get no respect that you talk. And then Norm goes, well, I can't believe that, a man of your stature, certainly you get respect from your children. No, are you kidding? And do some kids joke. Well, I find that very hard to believe, Rodney. What about certainly your doctor would give you respect of all people. I'd say no respect from him. So Rodney goes, "What the fuck are you talking about?" He goes, "No, my whole thing is no respect." And then, like later down, he goes, Rodney has no use for writers. He thinks of it as just guys who hand you hand $5 to outside the fucking a nightclub, somewhere.
I have a story that involves sort of you and Felipe in a way. Felipe, when I opened for him in Brea, his wife told me there's this, I forgot this service, but you probably have a lot of checks waiting for you because when they put your stuff on albums on, what's it called?
Well, you remember in the old days, you'd go into the Improv, and there'd be 450 checks to Jerry Seinfeld.
Yeah.
And you try to be looking for yours,
Now with the Laugh Factory, I hardly do it, but there was a show I did, and then I waited to the next time to get the check. It was 6 months later. And they go, oh no, Jamie rips up the check if you don't do a set in 6 months. I see him waiting. Don't have Freddie back, and he's ripping up the check. It's I don't want to name names, but a friend of mine I've known for 30 years has a podcast, and Jamie's his manager. And I thought, my paperback's out. Try to go on podcast, and he goes, I'm sorry, Freddie. Jamie says you don't have enough Twitter followers to be on his podcast. So
to be on Tom Herrera's podcast?
Yeah, right. And I'm thinking, who am I more mad at? Am I mad that, and like I'm trying not to say the word Amber doesn't like. I go on the thing to see other people he's had on his podcast. I have more than him, but so it's like I just did Mark Maron. He had the president on, and no, Freddie don't have enough Twitter followers. And he goes, look, Freddie, we just had someone. He had 100,000 Twitter followers. Like, it's a podcast. You know what I mean? It's like one thing, I can't get you in my movie. I can't get you through to be on my TV show as a writer. It's not up to me. It's up to Helford. But, but this is a podcast. It's.
Well, what about when it was Thanksgiving there? Or Christmas.
Oh yeah, Jamie has these things, where he does goodwill deeds, but he's always has an agenda. Like when I wrote on Seinfeld, he put a sign up.
He gets children for Michael Jackson.
Yeah, he goes, watch Freddie's episode on Seinfeld. He put a sign up, and people go, what do you mean Freddie's episode? He goes, did you tell Jetty? Tell Jetty. So it's Jeddy. Tell Jetty. So one time he had the cameras there, and he's doing a Thanksgiving. He's feeding homeless people, and at the Laugh Factory, they're never really homeless people. They're just kind of, comics. They don't really bust in like a. So Jen, like Stephen Allen Green or someone, some comedian.
He is homeless.
Yes. So they'd have.
Mostly known as a comedian.
So they'd have comedians dishing out the food, right? So Jen Karam was dishing out food. He goes,
like that lady. Who's that lady? That was a comedian like 1,000 years ago with Seinfeld and those people.
What do you mean, a lady?
Elaine Boozler.
Oh, yeah, people like that dish out the food. So then Jan was dishing out food, going, no, put Jay Moore there for the camera. So he's doing a good deed, but she got bumped. So Norm, Felipe told me about this thing where you declare if any comedy bits you've done have been on these not podcast, what is it called, Pandora, and then maybe checks waiting for you or played on satellite.
Yes.
So he says,
really?
fill out all the forms. So I see he goes.
Where are these checks?
Well, I'll tell you what happened is that so you declare what albums you've been on, comedy, and there's a check waiting for you. So I said, I was on this thing called The Fantastic Four with Norm MacDonald. And they said, okay, we're filing an injunction against Norm MacDonald. We're doing I go, what are you talking about? They go, okay, this is a union because on the credit it just says Norm MacDonald, and they go, you're one of the guys, so you're entitled to a fourth of it. I did that. I go, no, and I called you up. I left a message. Go, it seems like I'm suing you. Like we're filing a report against Norm MacDonald, and so Norm. I think Bruce Arthur may own those things. No. If you're a performer on these things, they say there's $2,000 waiting for you, Norm.
What?
For the Norm. But if I file my fourth, I get $500. But then I have to.
Where do I get it?
Tell him how he does it.
It's called Soundhound.
Like all the bits you've done from your albums.
Yes.
You have thousands of dollars waiting for you, right, Felipe?
Yes. I got a call one time, and they said, you have money waiting for you because I did a comedy album with some guy named Jewel out of XM Radio a long time ago in D.C. And then I fill out those paperwork, and I get checks now every month, every time my comedy is played in the radio.
Guys like Gary Goldman, they get checks.
Soundbite?
I don't know. Guys like Gary Goldman said, I didn't declare it, and he gets $30,000 if you put your albums, and they played on...
How do you spell it?
We're looking it up, or ask Lisa, but they get all these checks because if your albums is played on satellite or Sirius or all of... So then I did my declaration. You know how much I got? $30 because the song I did was on Handy Manny. Like we worked together.
You got $30,000?
$30.
Oh, $30.
I don't have any comedy albums out. The only thing I did that's played is the Fantastic Four. So this is what...
But you have your video.
The Thrill Seeker is not played on anything. So Felipe, do you know the Fantastic Four?
Yes.
So this is funny. Norm, someone sent me the thing. I forgot years ago. We did a sketch where on his album Ridiculous. Oh, I'm plugging this, Norm. If you have anything to plug, no, I'm just kidding. Someone will say, do your podcast.
Why are you just kidding?
Because people say, I don't want to be arrogant. People say, do my thing. It's 50 miles away. It's in my house. You can plug your book. Like they make it, oh, wow. Like I'm doing you a favor. And so basically, so there was a bit where he's Mr. Sound Exchange. Have someone fill it out. There's thousands of dollars waiting for you. And
Sound Exchange.
All the every bit you've done and everything. So, and there's $2,000 for the Fantastic Four alone bit. So, okay, so the Fantastic Four, Norm was...
Are you going to play the Fantastic Four now?
Let's go to a clip. No, that'll be on the website. We'll put a clip on the web. And Norm, you could plug anything. We'll put a clip on the website. No, I'm just kidding. When people say that. So, okay, this is the bit.
It's called Sound Exchange, and what they do is it's a free union, and they make no money. But what they do is they find every comedy bit that you ever recorded that's an audio, and they find it on every radio station, every compilation, the CD,
Pandora,
XM Radio, Pandora, and they get it all together. And they send you checks.
Norm, you got a lot of money coming to you.
Thank you, Felipe.
Yes, yeah. Sound Exchange. It's like a lot of paperwork to fill out, but once you fill it out, it pays off.
Yeah, and so can I file the injunction against you that I was one of the Fantastic Four? Because on it just says you as the performer. I got to say, so Amber, I got to include Amber. Amber is great. Say hi to Norm. Are you a fan of Norm's?
Yeah, I love you, Norm. Hi, how you doing?
We invited you. We did a bit with Fred, the great Fred Willard. We acted out a noir scene, and if you ever want to be in one of those. But, okay, so the bit was Felipe and Amber. That this is how they got their names, and he's saying, "Your name's the Thing. You're the Torch because you're a torch. You're invisible. I could stretch, so I'm Mr. Fantastic." And they go, "Wait a minute. Why are you called Mr. Fantastic?" So here I am. I was like very nervous. I was Johnny the Storm, Johnny Blaze. So I kept saying I'd argue, but then go right thing, like back me up thing. I was so nervous. I needed a thing to validate. Remember that?
Yes, you know. Well, the thing had a name, though. It was like
Ben Grimm. I go, wait, Ben.
Right, Ben?
Ben, well, isn't this true what I'm saying? Because I think at one time we were doing rehearsal, and Norm wanted the great Steve Higgins to talk more than me because he's better at improv. He goes, "Remember, the Thing is the leader." So I kept saying, "Well, look, I have a point to make now, Ben. Is it correct?"
Yeah, he did. Deep voice.
Now,
hold on. Ralph, I think, Reed.
No, but
what we're saying is that you should be Mr. Stretchy Arms.
And so who were some of the judges you had, Felipe, when you did Last Comic Standing?
That's a good question.
Natasha Leggero, Andy Kindler, and the late great Geraldo.
Wow.
The late great Geraldo.
Yes.
Greg Geraldo.
Oh, Greg Geraldo. Yeah, they were all pretty young then.
Well, Andy Kindler, I remember Jan Karam was auditioning the preliminaries, and he'd go, awkward.
Andy Kindler, you'd think would be perfect.
He'd go, awkward, because he knew Jan Karam. And he did like Paul Lynn, I guess. And
well, that's the really strange part, is that the judges know the performers, which you think would invalidate the whole.
Well, I remember there was one where
like a game show scandal in the 50s.
Well, they did one with Colin Quinn at the time. He had that show Tough Crowd, and Jim Norton was a regular on it, and then he was auditioning for Colin Quinn, and then he passed, and you see Colin laughing at his jokes, like, "Who's this new guy? He's great."
Wait, what was he on?
Jim Norton was on Tough. I'm on when Colin was a judge on Last Comic Standing.
Oh, I didn't know he
Tough Crowd.
Either.
Yes, but he was already a regular in Tough Crowd. So you see Jim Norton doing his set and Colin laughing like, "Who's this youngster? He's I get a kick out of him. Who's this guy? He's pretty edgy.
He's going somewhere."
Yes. Well, it's weird because I don't want to name names, but one guy that was kind of vilified on your season opened for one of the judges and blew them away. So he thought maybe the person had hostility towards him. God, I'll have to edit this out.
Who?
I can't
name.
name.
Much better story if you name names.
Yeah, who were the judges?
The judges was Norm. It was either Norm, Keenan Ivory Waynes, or Roseanne.
Oh, so I was the one that didn't like him.
No. He was. Amber, watching Last Comic Standing for Norm. I feel bad that she's not included.
If there's anything I say is going to feel forced, being like, "Ooh," like I have nothing to say. I'm just listening.
You know what it's like, Norm?
I was on Last Comic Standing, and I don't have anything to say.
You know what this is like, Norm? I've had a few times where I've pitched shows, and it was a nightmare, and I wanted the show to be passed because I didn't want to be involved with the people who were quote up my team. But you know what it's like? Did you ever pitch something and you have 3 executives, and you're talking, but you got to give eye contact with each one to show, hey, this is Louis Shecky, the assistant, but he's important too. So, okay, it's like Curve meets Dinner for Five, and then you turn your head to this guy in Amber. I think you'd really like this. You know what I'm talking about, Norm?
Some guys are perfect at that. Yeah, Fred Wolf is perfect at that.
Oh, yeah.
So you'll get a kick out of it, and then somehow you're involved.
Okay.
Hamburger.
Okay, Amber's point.
Is that your favorite comedian, Norm? Is that really your favorite comedian?
Have you ever seen him?
I've seen him before on Def Jam, but then I read that that was your favorite comic, and I said, damn, I had a heart attack. That was your favorite comedian. Hamburger.
He had a heart attack.
No, I had a heart attack laughing when I found out that was your favorite comic.
Oh, yeah, no, because I saw him on Def Jam, but I think it was because it was so hilarious, because everyone was so
contrived
filthy, and then this guy came out with a cowboy hat.
Yeah.
He has two gimmicks instead of one. He has a cowboy hat and he says hamburger.
Yeah, that girl had a big-ass hamburger.
He does a joke. He goes, hamburger.
You know, Freddie?
Yeah, no, I've seen that guy.
Ed Hamburger Alonzo, I think is his name.
Or Shucky Ducky Quack Quack.
There's this thing Norm and I came across many years ago, before O.J. was in prison for the second thing. He did a punked kind of, made no sense, where he was doing practical jokes like a punk show, but he's scaring the shit out of people. Like one, he's recording a rap CD. He goes, you fucking asshole, I want to do it. And the guy's like shivering, and he's like delivering pizza, and he goes, I'm going to beat you up. And so not only does O.J. prank people,
and then he did characters.
He did like an old Jewish guy with a yarmulke and a big nose, like a hook with a wart on it, and doing a rap song.
At the end of the thing, he goes, "You've been juiced," and then it's the horrifying revelation that it's fucking O.J.
And women with no shirts dancing for no reason.
Oh, that was, the interstitials were all like, reminded me of that show you did with Cato.
I did this thing where we were hosting a strip poker tournament in some hedonist resort in Jamaica, and I thought, ooh, naked ladies everywhere, hedonism. I didn't know it was the stupidest gig and then they go. So National Lampoon, which is not like the old days, they said, we want you to come in for a writers' meeting. It turned out all it was they were trying to sell the show to some investors, these guys who own Denny's in Arizona. It's always Arizona. So I was part of the pitch, and Fred Stoller, you've seen him on Friends, and Kato Kalin is here. And I go, oh my God. So basically, it was the women were not attractive. They had, middle-aged, kind of heavy women trying to let loose from the Midwest, playing naked volleyball. But they had the nude side and the prude side. And so the food was on the nude side, and I wanted to get the chicken. So they had this Jamaican lady and a security guard goes, you have to take your clothes off if you come here. I went, no, that's all right. And all right, not a good story. Norm, anything plug?
What?
Hey, Norm, thanks a lot for talking about...
How was it like working with Cato, though? He was kind of the funny guy, right?
Well, he's... Now, Amber would find him charming because he'll like... I'm just teasing her. He'll like... Norm once did something taunting me where he said, let's meet at Jan's restaurant or someplace, or the Silver Spoon. I went, all right. So then he knew I couldn't stand Cato, and he shoes up. It's a wonderful morning. And he's dancing on tables and putting his arm around people. You fucking asshole. He does this contrived, fake, charming guy, those fake thing. So they had all these models, these women, that one of them were going, I'm a hooker, but this is good for exposure. I'm hoping this will help me break into acting. Where they start the thing, it was nude women playing poker, and they take their clothes off as they lose. But they started off with the naked women. Here's Melissa, and she's walking down waving naked, like, where's the suspense? Why do I care? So Cato was doing these interstitial bits. So one of them took a lot of diet pills and starved herself to get ready for this big break. So they're doing the what's it called? They're teaching us how to play poker, and it's all these women with big breast implants, and me and Cato. So then a woman had a seizure. She's having and what do you do? And they said, put something in her mouth, and I took chopsticks, and then they had to call the paramedic. So it was a real hairy scene, and Cato's behind, like making faces and jumping up and down, like mugging when this woman's having a seizure. Oh, and he's going to be like Kramer. He's going to sue me.
Hamburger.
All right, I made that up about Cato. Wink, wink. And then could you get sued from a third-hand story? So that all the models would share rooms. And one said, Cato would knock on the door and go, room service, and come in and jump in bed with them. And she goes, I don't think it's sexual harassment because he's making jokes, it doesn't count as sexual harassment if you're joking around. And so that was a big break. Now, okay, Norm, I have a...
it's funny, that story you're telling, because when guys try to be funny, generally, it's not the comedians; it's the serious actors, And I was on this celebrity softball team with Fred Willard and Artie Lang, but then there were actors, So the actors always try to be funny, like the comedians were just trying to seriously play ball, And anyways, we were playing against and there's this guy Michael Bay who was a soap opera actor, like super handsome, and at the time was dating. JFK's. He wrote a book about dating JFK's wife. That's what he was famous for. So he was a very handsome guy, though. He was on Baywatch and he was on soap operas. But anyways, we were playing the Jacksonville Jaguars, and they told us you can't slide. You're not allowed to slide because just in case we hit one of the Jaguars' ankles and broke it or something. So we were told not to slide. So Artie Lang he's a really good baseball player, and he hits a triple off the wall, and he runs around second base, and he's running to third, and he goes to slide, and he remembers at the last second not to slide, so he tries to stop himself from sliding, and he snaps his ankle breaks, and he falls down, and he's writhing and screaming. And Michael Bay, who's playing second base, runs over, starts fucking him in the ass.
Okay, this is the end of part one of this great call-in with Norm MacDonald, Felipe Esparza, Amber. We're going to put part two on next Friday, continue this hysterical phone call with Norm MacDonald. Please subscribe to this podcast on iTunes. Give it a good rating. Give it a review. This really helps. Please join my Facebook page for updates about stuff. Follow us on Twitter. I'm Fred_Stoller, Funny Felipe, Amber Tozer. So, man, we had so much fun with this. So we'll see you next week. Thank you.